Good morning, Lauren. I'm Jan Gottesman, president of Kelly Spicers on the West Coast.
So, Jan, what were some highlights of your past year serving as chair of NPTA?
Well, I'm certainly muscling through the twists and turns of the pandemic and some of the other challenges that we've had in the industry. It's not necessarily a highlight, but it certainly is a hallmark, and I'm sure it's a hallmark for everybody in the industry this last year. But I would say a highlight, I think, for the entire board and the NPTA was really the evolution of the Emerging Leaders Program. This program started a few years ago as an opportunity for our emerging leaders in the industry to network together. Based on their feedback and also what we've learned over the past couple of years around the importance of leadership and developing some of those leadership skills like empathy and developing people, we've evolved it more into a leadership development group. And so I'm really excited about that and have opened it up to more of the members that are just interested in, learning how to be a more effective leader. And I think certainly the pandemic has taught us all that, we need to make sure that our leaders are prepared. And we need to be prepared with these folks, slotting them into positions as people retire. So I would say that that's probably the biggest highlight for me.
And when you first assumed your role as chair, what were your expectations? And then, especially in this past year, did anything surprise you?
So many surprises. Having served on the board for many years, I was really looking forward to working with the new board and the NPTA to continue to develop and evolve the initiatives that support our key platforms, which are networking. Clearly that was difficult to do, and we weren't able to do that in person. Education, advocacy, and providing key trend information that would be useful for our members to use. The pandemics clearly took the wind out of the sails of networking, but I was really, excited and happy to see the board working hard to continue to add meaningful programs for the membership. Like everything else over the past couple of years, that work just didn't stop. The PaperChain and the paper chats is a great example of that, where we're providing, great information to our membership and continuing to elevate that as much as we can.
And Jan, you briefly mentioned the twists and turns of 2021. So can you go into a little bit more depth about some of the challenges that you faced this past year?
Sure. It's so interesting to think about the year because it's almost a tale of two halves. But clearly the pandemic, for us, we had most of our employees working every day. The folks in the warehouse, our drivers, our store employees came to work every day. And then we had a lot of our office team working remotely. And I think, the thing that was on our mind as all of that evolved is just making sure we keep our culture intact, because that's incredibly important. And the way we work is everything to our customers and our suppliers and keeping us going. But, in the industry, and this is no surprise to any member, the supply chain difficulties that we faced and capacity constraints. At the same time, the demand for print and paper rebounded quite quickly off those pandemic lows in a big way. I think everybody had to be very flexible, very creative, and quite frankly, which is what we're all really good at, pretty scrappy in surviving. But no shortage of challenges. But I think it makes you a stronger team and makes you a stronger industry coming out of it.
So Jan, can you talk about what you're most proud of after navigating another year of uncertainty?
Yeah, I think really that culture piece that I talked about, and keeping that intact in every way that we can, is a highlight. And I think my entire team is really proud of being able to keep that together. And then the resilience of our people. I mean, it has been a tough couple of years, both professionally and personally, on many, many, many people. But it is really a testament to, and I think the entire industry, that we continue to support our customers, support our suppliers, and particularly our frontline employees, those that have been working on the ground and with customers through the entire thing. I think that is one of the hallmarks of being able to navigate through the last couple of years.
And from your vantage point, in what ways did the NPTA community adapt and overcome the obstacles brought about by year 2 of the pandemic?
Yeah, I think, as I talk to, some of my colleagues and some of our friends, in the industry, very similar to what we've had to do. And, be scrappy, make sure you keep your culture intact, and just navigate the twists and turns that we all faced. And I think for the most part, and the twists and turns will continue, there is no doubt about it. But I think for the most part, I think the industry has just done a fantastic job getting through the last couple of years.
As we close out 2021, what are you most looking forward to as we head into 2022?
Well, I'm not going to say getting back to normal, because I do not think we're going to get anywhere close in our industry to back to where we were, especially, in the first half of the year. I mean, the supply chain issues continue, and certainly the capacity constraints will continue. But professionally, I'm really looking forward to getting back to networking with folks and seeing them in person. Really looking forward to the PDC event in January, and then later on Paper Week, and just the many visits that we have, and getting back to traveling. And then personally, I'm looking forward to traveling again. We've had so many trips canceled. We had one that we planned in 2018 for 2020, to go to Asia. And so that got canceled, and we thought we were very smart and changed it to Italy. Of course, that got canceled, and then Greece, and then now we're going to Alaska. But I'm looking forward to getting back out and seeing the world again and doing a little bit of traveling. And I'd just like to wish everybody in the NPTA, who has done a wonderful job navigating through the last 2 years, and our membership, a very happy holidays and a prosperous 2022.